An increasingly desperate, panicked, and unhinged failed former President Donald Trump released a Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs midnight video last night, early this morning, wherein he calls all four investigations into him just Democratic left-wing bias, in yet another sign that he is both not only really scared, but very, very disconnected from reality. This video was released through Rumble and embedded on Truth Central. Here's Trump very late at night claiming that the weight of his massive polling lead, where did you think I was going with that? The weight and size of his massive polling lead is forcing desperate Democrats to try to charge him. Of course, ignoring the reality that these investigations have been going on for a long time before he was even a candidate for 2024. Let's take a look.
These four horrible, radical left Democrat investigations.
By the way, I know people seeing this are going to write to me and say, David, how can you not comment on the fact that it's not even orange that Trump is anymore? It's almost like he's painted himself so dark that it doesn't even make any sense. And his lips look white. And folks, I get it. But it's not the focus here. I get that he looks like a reverse mime, I guess we would say, but we're not focusing on that here.
Your all-time favorite president, me, is just a continuation of the most disgusting witch hunt in the history of our country. It's gone on forever with Russia, and Ukraine, and the Mueller hoax. It's an absolute disgrace what's going on. They even spied on my campaign.
Of course, that's not true. Should I explain that again? I guess I'll briefly, it's been a while. If you know the explanation, I apologize. The allegation from Trump is that they spied on my campaign. What happened was that Trump's 2016 campaign was in touch with so many suspected criminals who were themselves under surveillance that when those suspected criminals would make phone calls to people associated with Trump, Trump's associates would incidentally be surveilled because they were talking to suspected criminals. They weren't spying on Trump's campaign.
And remember this, with all of the work that they did on Mueller, no collusion. That's what the answer was all no collusion. Whether it's the Mar-a-Lago raid or the Unselect Committee hoax, the perfect Georgia phone call, it was absolutely perfect, or the Stormy Horseface Daniels extortion plot.
There it is.
They're all sick, and it's fake news. Our enemies are desperate to stop us because they know that we are the only ones who can stop them, and they know it very strongly. And they're looking at the polls where, not me, but we are up by so much. They can't even believe it.
Is that true? We'll look at that.
We won twice, and now we've got to win a third time. They know that we can defeat them. They know that we will defeat them. But they're not coming after me. They're coming after you.
Right. This is a classic, which is by trying to hold me accountable for crimes for which there is evidence, you are really being targeted. It's like, no. They're targeting you for the things you allegedly did.
I'm just standing in their way.
Right.
And I always will stand in their way. Thank you very much.
That video released just after the stroke of midnight early this morning, and of course as unhinged, panicked, and desperate as ever. All four investigations are merely Democrats going after Trump because the polls are so great for Trump. The truth is that the polls are good for Trump. They're not absolutely fantastic, and in fact, Trump does worse against Joe Biden than does Ron DeSantis. Just for being thorough, if you look at some recent polls, yes, there continue to be polls in which Trump is doing very well in the Republican primary, but there are also polls that are quite close. And it really depends on which poll you look at. These are Republican primary polls, and Trump is winning, depending on the state or whether it's a general poll, anywhere from between 2 and 28 over Ron DeSantis. But these are not big surges. These are what the numbers have been. And then importantly, if you look at the general election, Biden against DeSantis versus Biden against Trump, Biden does better against Trump in every one of these recent polls. So it's not really true that there's a polling motivation to try to get Trump out of the way if you are Democrats. And by the way, Democrats, Justice Department, Biden in D.C., prosecutor, DA in New York, the Georgia, these are all different groups is the truth. And just to say these are just all Democrats is also not accurate. But the idea that Democrats would be saying, let's charge Trump to get him out of the way. Why? DeSantis does better than Trump. It wouldn't make any sense to try to do that. Imagine for a second that you try logging into your email account only to find that your password was changed an hour ago. And then you get notifications of activity from your bank and then your credit cards. That is what identity theft is like, and it's a horrible feeling. And we dealt with it at the show not that long ago, but now I have an app called Aura, which gives me much more peace of mind. Our sponsor, Aura, is the all-in-one solution for keeping your online account safe because Aura will scan the dark web for your personal info, password, social security number, and you get fast alerts when they find something. You also get fast alerts about credit inquiries. Aura protects all of your devices from malware. Aura even requests the removal of your info from data broker sites, and Aura helps you manage what your kids can do on their devices. You can restrict certain apps, set screen time limits, set focus times when you need them off of devices. Go to aura.com/Pacman to try it free for 7 days. Your login credentials might already be floating around out there, and Aura will tell you instantly for free. The link is down below.